Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Monday, Mafia Monday. Let's jump into our story. We're going scene by scene through all three novels that I wrote. I got my laptop open. So let's jump into it. If you're new to the channel, you're going to have to go and watch the previous Monday videos. You can't just jump in the middle of a story and then start asking me what's going on. I've had some comments like that. We're in chapter 22. So these novels are about the Los Angeles Syndicate. I wrote them about 4 years ago. Some of this is new to me, just as it is to you, because I kind of forgot what I wrote. So let's jump into it. We're following our main character, Simon Castro, young Simon, as he has taken over downtown with his mob, the DTGs, Downtown Gangsters. He's been invited onto the Syndicate, the board of directors. He has a seat. And he's, in the last couple episodes, which you should go watch, he's been going around to the different mob bosses. He went to the Mexicans, now he went to the Russians, just to meet them. So let's pick up where we left off. I got Mr. Snubby, always ready for some Mafia stories. Set your mood right. Mafia Monday. We rode across town, listening to James Brown, The Big Payback, on the radio. Raymond always picked a good radio station. When Raymond dropped me off at my office, I said, I want you to go see Tom Castellano. He will give you someone to be my new personal assistant. I want you to meet him and use your best detective skills. If you don't like who Tom picks, then just take his ass back and exchange him for another one. I'm trusting you on this one. Raymond looked excited and replied, well, yes, sir, boss. I'll make sure he checks out. I went upstairs to an empty apartment as Jennifer was not home, and I called up Tom. He answered on the first ring and said, hey, Simon, I've been waiting for your call all day. How did your meetings go? You're going to flip your lid on the profits this week. It's like everything just doubled or even tripled. You'll see. So what's up, my friend? I sat down at Jennifer's little desk by the window and noticed a movie proposal that was left for me as I talked to Tom. I replied, it went exactly as expected. DTG is down with the Mexicans like a motherfucker. But we'll have to watch the Russians. We're going to have to watch them like hawks. Look, I have a job coming for you, but we can't talk about it on the phone. My driver Raymond is on his way up to see you right now. I want you to find me a kid from the crew to be my personal assistant and make sure he's smart. There was a lot of noise on the line as Tom said to someone in the background, shut the fuck up. The boss is on the phone. He came back to the receiver and said, Simon, it's crazy here in the warehouse. I got a lot of shipments going out. Let me call you back later. Don't worry, I got the perfect kid for you. I hung up with Tom and looked through a screenplay that a French director wanted me to make. It looked like a real moneymaker and could be big in Europe. Finally, Raymond returned an hour and a half later, ringing me from the downstairs lobby of the building. I buzzed him up. Tom had chosen well, just like he promised. My new personal assistant came strolling in behind Raymond, who always looked like a shriveled up raisin. The kid was very tall, skinny, pale, redhead. He was a little younger than me, with more freckles than stars in the sky. He wore a tight gray suit with his thick red hair slicked back, making him look more like Howdy Doody than a gangster. I was glad that he wasn't Italian, because he wouldn't have any loyalty to the family or to my father. Standing at the entrance, Raymond said, hey boss, this is Clark O'Brien. I gave him the test and he passed better than anyone I've ever given it to. This guy is smarter than both of us put together, I promise. Be nice to him, Simon. He's Tom's wife's cousin. You're not going to find another kid as honest as this one. I smiled and replied, Thanks, Raymond. Please wait down in the car. Clark was shaking in his shoes as he stood in wonder at the luxurious apartment. I could see his fingers trembling as he held a notepad in both of his hands. I said, "Have we met before?" Clark cleared his throat and replied, Yes, sir. I met you at Easter dinner last year at Tom's house. It's an honor to be your new assistant, sir. I was pretty shocked when he told me my new position was with you." I said, "Sit down. Let's get right to work. I've got a lot on my mind. I need to prepare for my first board of directors meeting with the company. You ready for your first task?" Clark opened up his book, took out a pen, and carefully adjusted his thick black plastic eyeglasses. He replied, "Yes, sir. I can do anything you need of me." I said, "Go find out information regarding every single company associate who's currently operating within the city council, the county council, the state house, the state senate. These will be guys my grandfather used for his operation. They're all on the shelf now, but we're going to activate them. I want you to go down to the Rampart District Police Station and make sure the captain knows that the DTGs are back in action and that the loyalty which they showed to my grandfather is absolutely expected to continue in the future with me. Bring an envelope full of cash to pay him off. He's a greedy fat pig and will snatch it from you as fast as you pull it out of your pocket. I want you to become an expert in the company rules. I want you to look specifically for any rules that pertain to the reasons of removal of a member. A removal of a member. You got that, Clark?" Clark furiously scribbled notes in his notebook as I talked and then looked up at me, eager to please. He said, "Yes, sir, I got it. Luckily, I already know about the rules of the syndicate. I've been studying it for about a year. Your grandfather, Carl Castro, was my hero. I have a picture of him on my wall in my bedroom." I replied, "Oh, well, that's wonderful to hear. Raymond was right. You are smart. Please tell me the rules about how board members are voted out of the company." Clark put down his notebook and said, "The rules that Carl Castro set in place are clear on this topic, sir. For a board member to be kicked out, there has to be a unanimous no-confidence vote by the other members. One has to get 3 warnings to receive an official reprimand. After 3 separate reprimands, the offending member will get a punishment in the form of a suspension from all rackets and profits. Finally, if a board member gets 3 official suspensions, his termination is voted on by the other members. It's called the 3-3-3 rule." I replied, "Wow, well, that sounds like a pain in the ass." Clark smiled and said, "Sir, there is more. You will love this little loophole, but your grandfather was smart enough to put in place. The only way for you, being that you're taking his chair, to be kicked off the board of directors would be if you died or stepped down voluntarily. You, in your grandfather's chair, cannot be voted out for any reason, nor can you be suspended from the rackets for any reason. Your grandfather wasn't a fool. So basically, sir, everyone can be voted out who sits on the board and terminated, except for you. The DTGs started the syndicate. They started the company, and they will always be at the head of the table according to the rules. Your grandfather was a genius." I laughed and gazed out of the window at the LA skyline and replied, "I like you, Clark. You just made my day." All right, let's stop here and we'll continue next time.